Prime Movers had a really exciting project in Calgary recently at one of the local breweries we've done some work for in the past. There was a hot liquor tank that the client was looking to replace.
Pretty cool job here today. We're removing and replacing a 6,000 pound brewery tank.
And it was trapped in a cluster of other tanks. Impossible to extract just by kind of grabbing it with a pallet jack and moving it. Option one was that the tank would get demoed in place and the new tank we would install kind of outside of the cluster. The problem with that, for the client anyways, was that the piping required to then tie back into the system had a substantial cost to it. We were asked to provide basically a feasibility study to see if the tank could literally get lifted from its current location over a boiler room and onto the other side. Our engineer came up with a very simplistic 2D feasibility to ensure that the tank actually physically fit over top of the boiler room. Now, the boiler room in and of itself is 25 feet wide. So the tank had to go from one side up over and then down the other side. The client then came back and said that they wanted to add another foot to the tank for height. So we had to go back to the engineer, talk it through, and sure enough, it still fit. We hashed out the budget that was going to work for us and that was going to work for them, and that's the approach we decided to take. What was really interesting about this project is just how tight everything was. We had to build quite a large rigging system, but we had to put the towers in between other brewery tanks. The complexity of this job was just how restrictive the space was, and our team of experts hit this one out of the park. There's a lot of obstructions and pipes and ladders that they had to work around. They were able to not only get the job done, but they actually got it done a lot faster than we anticipated.
The old one's out right behind me here. Tomorrow will be the new one in. Went super smooth today and should go super smooth tomorrow.
A lot of these jobs that we do, the hardest part of the job is actually setting the rigging system up. The two beams that we used that were acted as the primary hoisting beams were 45-foot long W14 at 53s. The beams collectively together weighed more than the tank that we were actually lifting. So the most challenging part was actually getting those beams installed on that system. The crew's focused on that. Supervisor spends a tremendous amount of time measuring everything. We were tight everywhere. That's why we engineered it to the degree that we did, but it's always relieving when you get the phone call from the supervisor that says project was a success, everything fit.